Hello everyone, moose2006 here, and we have a video today that really caught my attention. It's called How to Enjoy Games Again by Erdrix, and I'll have the link to the video in the description, but it caught my interest because this has been me for probably the last 3, 4, maybe 5 months, so I was just curious to see what they have to say about it. So let's watch and
Growing up, I was obsessed with video games. I remember getting my first ever Game Boy and playing Pokemon Red non-stop, or laughing my
Pokemon Blue. I vividly remember evolving my first Charizard. It was in a hotel room because we were on a trip. Amazing.
ass off with my family playing tennis and bowling and Wii Sports, getting absolutely dunked on in Halo 3 by my friends, and spending way too much time building the ugliest houses you've ever seen in Minecraft. I loved immersing myself in all these different worlds, and as time went on, I just played more and more different games. I dreamt about the day where I could afford my dream PC, and have the time and money to spend towards any game I could ever want. And yet, as I got older and began to achieve that dream, my motivation to play those video games started to fade. I had so much more time now, and an amazing PC, as well as an absolute chonker of a Steam library. So why do games no longer feel fun? I had to force myself to open new games, and even then I wouldn't actually play them. I'd just sit there not enjoying myself. Nowadays it seems like a lot of people are going through the same thing. As they reach the end of being a teenager and kind of head into their 20s, their love for something that once dominated their childhood is now wavering. If that in any way sounds familiar, then this might be the video for you.
Yeah, he hit the nail on the head. Like, I will think I want to play a game, and I'll find one that I'm like, yes, this looks good. And I will load it up, and I'll put like an hour in, and then I go, I'm good. Like, it was kind of fun, but I just don't want to. I tried Borderlands 3 last week, which I loved. Borderlands 2, probably have 100 plus hours in it. And I played like 90 minutes, and for the first 60 minutes, I was very into it. Like, was loving going back, because I hadn't played Borderlands 2 for years and years. And then I just hit a wall, like, an extra 30 minutes, and I just went, nope, I'm done. And it's not really a thing, and I'll see if the video talks on this. You'd think it'd be a thing where, like, my mind is telling me I could be using my time better or wiser. But that's not it, because I watch a lot of movies. Like, I've been into like movie mode the last 3 or 4 months, especially since October with spooky season. So I know that if I'm not playing video games, I'm probably just watching a movie, which I enjoy doing. So it's not that. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Recently, I've been trying different ways to reignite that passion for video games so that they can feel fun for me again. So in this video, I'm going to be going through 5 tips that I believe will help you to once again be able to enjoy video games. This is a super fun way to get back into games that you're already really familiar with. Maybe that passion for a game you've played for years is still there, and you're just looking for a way to mix things up to give yourself more incentive to continue playing it. The best thing about this tip is that you can pretty much apply it to any game you'd like to play. Pick a game or even a collection of games and just go into it with a specific challenge in mind. It could be trying to win a game using only one specific weapon, or attempting to beat the hardest difficulty in that game. It could be limiting what characters you use or what controls you're allowed to use, or just trying to complete it within a specific amount of time. One of the best examples and most popular forms of making a game more challenging to make it more fun is probably Pokemon Nuzlocke. Implementing all of these new rules has made the game so much harder, but also created this new wave of relevance for a franchise that, difficulty-wise, is pretty obviously aimed towards kids. Another example...
He's not going to talk about that? I have no idea what that is. Nuzlocke? I'm going to be Googling that. I've never heard of it. If you play Factorio, that's a really good tip, because you can... There's anything with really good mods I think helps, but this tip isn't for me. I'm not a very big fan of difficulty. Not really why I play games, but...
is that I'm currently trying to beat Terraria on Master Mode within 100 in-game days. And knowing that I'm doing everything with that challenge in mind has made me way more excited to sit down and play the game every single day. The thing is, they don't even have to specifically be challenges. Something else that you can do is to just set specific goals for whatever game it is you're playing. Maybe it's the goal of the entire run of the game, or it's just for the specific session. In my newest Minecraft world, my goal is to build my base almost entirely within the new biome that just came out. Even though I've been playing this game for years and I'm pretty much just doing the same things I always did, the entire vibe of what I'm doing is different because it's all inside this one brand new area. Or you can sit down after work or school and say, hey, Today I'm going to beat this specific boss, or finally complete that one building project, or I'm going to beat my fastest time. Sometimes the act of just playing the game can be too vague to get excited for, so making the actions you want to complete within the game more specific can help you get more focused on just getting through the game.
That tip is good for anything. If you're working on a personal project or just work in general, or you need to do a chore, that's a great tip to just like set a specific goal, not a generic goal. Like I'm going to do the dishes. I'm going to mop the office. So awesome tip.
This one might sound a bit weird, but hear me out. Playing games isn't necessarily immersing yourself in just the game. There's quite a lot that you can do outside the game to get yourself in the mindset of winding down and relaxing. Humans are creatures of habit. If you get yourself into the habit of getting your gaming environment to be more comfortable, it'll make you feel more excited for when that time to chill out finally comes. Pick out your coziest clothes, plan a dinner or some snacks that are fun to eat while you play, and make sure you have some water and other drinks so that you don't have to get up in the middle of a session. Maybe hype yourself up with some music from the game or from something else before you play. If you make this a huge big deal over getting to sit down on your chair or couch and just getting to play some games for a few hours, all your favorite snacks, it'll feel way more fun not only during the session, but all the way up to whenever you planned it for. Maybe you plan to play games on a Saturday after a long week of work. Don't just come home and go on your phone and then sit down, open a bunch of random games and stuff. Plan what you're going to play, what you'll eat, and the most comfortable clothes to wear during that session. It's kind of like planning a date with yourself, only it's not sad. I promise. My mindset is, if you're going to do it, you should do it right.
It's okay to do things by yourself. A lot of my friends think I'm kind of weird because I love going to movies on my own. Like I've gone to probably the last 6 to 8 movies I've gone to in the theater have been by myself because, I mean, you just watch it. So I don't want to talk to someone while I'm at a movie. So it's fine. I'm like the only one I know who does it, but it's my favorite way to enjoy it. Same with games.
I think one of the hardest pills to swallow when it comes to gaming is that maybe the game that you put all those hours into every single day is just not that fun. Any game can be someone's favorite, but it would be a lie to say that every game ever created was just created to be a good game. If the games you play make you feel frustrated, annoyed, or like you're just wasting your time on them, it might be time to try some new games. And trust me, this is coming from someone who used to think League of Legends was fun. I mean, like, it can be, but most of the time it's not. Leaving your comfort zone can help you to immerse yourself in worlds that maybe you've never tried before. Recently, I just tried this random free game on Steam for the sake of just making a video on it. All I really wanted to do going in was give myself a proper chance of trying it. And then I found myself sinking hours upon hours into this game because I was so determined to beat it. It was genuinely so fun sitting down and just going through the motions of the game over and over again to try and beat it. And I never would experience that if I didn't force myself to try a new game. And like I said, that game was free. So you don't necessarily need to spend money on new games just to try them. I mean, that's why demos exist, right?
Another good reason for Game Pass and other subscription services, though I do think there's like a downside to that where if you don't have some buy-in, like that initial 40, 50, 60 bucks, I know I'm like much quicker to bounce off it, where if I can just download it and play for an hour, I'm much quicker to just not give up, but admit that I'm not enjoying it as much. But if I put in the money, like Xenoblade Chronicles 1, I forced myself to beat it because I paid for it, even though I didn't really enjoy the last like 20 or 30 hours. Also on the screen here, Dragon Quest 11, amazing game, loved it, highly recommend.
Not that many games nowadays have demos, but you get me. There might even be a good chance that you're like me and you've bought games over the years just to never even try them. So maybe give one of them a chance, because any game has the potential to suddenly be your new favorite. It doesn't even need to be a new game. Maybe there's a specific game mode in your current favorite that you avoid. There have been many times where I tried different maps or modes in a game years ago and decided they weren't fun just because of one negative experience. Then I come back to them and realize that they're some of my favorites. This is definitely the hardest tip on the list, and I fully acknowledge.
No, not for me. We'll talk.
Making friends can be hard. I've recently been trying to branch out online to find people who play the same games as me, but nowadays the internet is so saturated with so many different types of people, and figuring out who you'd get along with or who plays the game the same way as you is a challenge in itself. But it still pays off once you finally find them. For me, I use Discord servers created for specific games like Minecraft or Destiny 2 or Phasmophobia, and then I went into the looking for group channels and just kind of scouted people out. Eventually I saw someone who I thought looked cool post a request for Phasmophobia, And by forcing myself to join that one session with that person, it ended up leading to me having a blast for hours and eventually making 3 new friends to play that game with. We even have a new group chat dedicated to planning out new games to try together. Reaching out at all is difficult, and not everyone you meet will be the right person for you. This tip itself might not even be for everyone. You could be very comfortable playing games on your own, which is completely okay. I too really like the single player experience sometimes. But if you've been avoiding sending that game request message because you're worried it'll all go wrong, sometimes you just have to force yourself. Worst case scenario, it's not fun and you can just leave. But best case scenario, you make some long-term friends to play that game and maybe more with.
Okay, he might have convinced me a little bit. Like, I kind of swore off online games in 2016 when I played a lot of Overwatch, and I think it's pretty well established that there's some toxicity in that game. But I have not played multiplayer of anything since then. I completely just hated it. But when I think back to some of the best gaming moments was way back in college. I had a group of like 4 or 5 people from that around the world, I guess, around the country, people I didn't actually know in person, online friends, and we played a ton of Left 4 Dead, and definitely like the highlight of my like college gaming days were those times. So maybe I should check out trying to get back into something. I don't know. That was a good segment.
I'm adding this extra bonus tip because although I think it can be extremely helpful for a specific type of person, I also understand that it's very situational. Nevertheless, a tip that I think could help you enjoy games more is to simply live stream it. If you know you enjoy the games you play and mostly just have a hard time with committing to them or focusing on them, then streaming them live could help with adding a little bit of pressure for you to just focus on the game. You'd also be surprised how fun it is to talk alongside playing the game. You don't even have to commentate if you'd like, instead just focusing on streaming the game specifically. Knowing that someone could be watching is just enough anxiety to make you actually play the game without being genuinely distressing. My partner has a very hard time focusing on video games, so she recently decided to try live stream a new one she wanted to try out. And it went great. She was able to actually focus on the game and outwardly vocalize her inner monologue for a whole 2-hour session of gaming. Again, I know this tip will not be for everyone. It's a very specific thing to suggest, and if you're just not comfortable with streaming, then there are plenty of other tips in this list to try. But maybe it's something you've already considered. And if so, this is some encouragement from me. Go ahead and try it. If you're just doing it for fun, you don't need to be worried about having the best commentary or gameplay or getting views or having people chat. If it helps you to focus on your gaming, then that's great. If not, don't worry.
I think the other thing with streaming that is one reason I kind of don't, I've tried in the past here and there is, and maybe it's just me, I feel like you need quite a few hours set aside to make it like, I guess worth it's a weird word, but if you're going to stream and you actually want to give people time to join the channel and chat, you kind of have to book like 2+ hours. I feel like, again, I could be way off base here. And then you also need to be consistent every week. So you're always doing it at similar times on similar days. I guess I don't know. I could always try just doing like, oh, I have a couple hours here. Let's go stream here and there. But I don't know. That's one reason I never really got into it, because I don't have like time or a consistent schedule. But I think it is a good tip to just do it just for fun. Just go to Twitch. They make it pretty easy to set up a way to stream. So
this last tip might be for you. While the other tips on this list might seem hard, this might be the only one that you're upset to hear. That's why I kept it for last. But unfortunately, it's just true. Sometimes the best thing to do when you don't enjoy something you used to is to take a break. I believe that the reason this doesn't work for a lot of people is because they don't commit to it. If you want to try to take a break from gaming, you should really try to focus on the other things in your life, such as hobbies or spending time with friends and family. If you keep trying over and over to enjoy the same games and it's not working, then what harm is there in taking a week or 2 to spend that time on something else? Of course, it's not that simple, but maybe you can combine it with some other tips on this list to make it easier. You could reach out to some friends and plan to play this new game together on the weekend, or maybe a fun challenge in a game you already play together. Then take a break from games up until that day. And on the day, make sure to get loads of snacks and make your space more comfortable so it'll be even more fun. And there's a good chance you'll spend the whole time taking a break being excited for that one day. And of course, there are so many factors as to why games can be hard to enjoy nowadays. There are problems such as having too many options, not being able to access or run the games you enjoy, or even problems like depression and ADHD can get in the way of you enjoying yourself. However, 9 times out of 10, burnout is the biggest factor, and taking a proper break can help you to take a step back and reapproach games with a new mindset. I hope that this video can help you reignite that passion for gaming. These tips come straight from my experience, but I'm also still figuring out how to enjoy all the games I was once crazy about. But if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, as it really helps me out. Maybe share this video with someone you know who's struggling with enjoying games recently. And if you have any thoughts on what I talk about in this video, good or bad, or suggestions, please let me know in the comments below. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah, okay, good video. I think that's where I'm at right now, is just taking a break. Obviously I play for my channel. That's where I do 99% of my gaming. The last game I really played was Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Got about 60 hours in, loved it, just hit a wall where I just sort of like stopped one day and I just need to go back. And maybe that first tip where I set a goal and say, okay, I'm going to pass this, I just need to get past this area. I know the exact area where I hit the wall. Maybe I just need to get that past that area, and then I'll like love the game again because I was loving it. And then maybe defeating that game will like encourage me to move on. I don't know. And at this end of the day, like you said, just taking a break is fine. Like I don't need to play video games. I don't need to force myself to, for sure. But I do like these tips. The one about finding people could be good. I don't know. I don't even know how to do that, to be honest. I don't Discord. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, thanks for the video. This was really good, really well narrated, well shot, well put together. So I'm glad we watched it. Hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, comment below if you wish. And of course, have yourselves a very nice day.